Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Alex with MaxExposure, the National Association of Local Businesses, coming to you with a new small business tip video, and that's why your business needs social media. So let's get into it. All right, so we have the unique advantage of being able to talk to thousands and thousands of small and local businesses all throughout the country in all different industries. We've been in business for 9 years, so we've had that unique perspective. And there's something that I see a lot of local businesses still doing incorrectly when it comes to social media, and that's they're viewing social media as a one-way broadcast tool. Okay, and I would argue that you're really missing out on a huge opportunity if that's the way you're viewing it. Social media is about building community engagement. And if you aren't having a conversation with your customers, I would even argue on a daily basis, you're really missing out. Okay, think of it this way. People want to do business with people who they have relationships with. And the more they like you, not just your product and service, but they actually like you and want to come in and use your product and service or come into your store, they're more likely going to come even more frequently than they have in the past. So if you can get updates out to them and pictures and videos and make them feel that relationship with you and your business, now we're talking about a boost in revenue. And you can increase your customer frequency that way. Not necessarily just getting new sales out of it, meaning new customers out of it, I should say, but getting existing customers to come in more frequently and what that would do for your revenue. So think of it this way. Let's say you can get 10 to 20% of your existing customer base to come in an extra 2 times a year. That's it. 10 to 20% an extra 2 times a year. So let's just make the math really simple. Let's say you can get 1,000 customers. Let's say that's 10% of your total customers through the whole entire year. And let's say your average order is about $50 when someone comes into your store. If you could get 1,000 people to spend an extra $50 and they come in an extra 2 times a year, that's an extra $100,000 that you could be producing for your business. So do you think social media might be important if it can have that kind of power and it can increase your revenue by that much when it comes to your business? I would say it's well worth the investment and well worth the time, in my opinion. All right. The other thing is to focus on social networks that really impact your business. Don't try to utilize every single social network out there just because it's out there. If it really has nothing to do with your business and the user base is not your typical customer, don't waste your time. Okay, a targeted approach is best. Let's take a restaurant, for example. Obviously, Facebook and Instagram would be the two biggest social networks that they could utilize because they're very visual. You could also throw in YouTube and Twitter, things like that, depending on what type of content you're putting out. But you don't really need LinkedIn if you're a restaurant manager, right? Because most people, that's for accountants, lawyers, more professional than it is a restaurant. So don't think just because it's there that you need to use it. The other thing is to diversify your content. This is also another thing I see a lot of local business falling into the trap of, and that's just posting the same type of content over and over and over again. I can tell you the reason why your followers aren't interacting with your content is probably because it's not interesting. You're doing it in the same way every single time. Again, you're kind of having that mindset of it's a one-way broadcast tool. You just want to throw out your specials, your hours, things like that over and over and over again without any real interaction. But there's so many different types of content that you can utilize. Images, video, infographics, articles, ebooks, the list goes on and on. And in each of those categories, you can post different types of content. So like for video, let's just use video as an example. Within the video category, you can also feature products and services, right? Take little videos, little 30-second videos of some new product that you got in, a new dish that you've created, a new workout routine. If you're a gym, a new piece of equipment, a how-to. There's so many different ideas I can give you. It's crazy. You can post videos of getting to know your staff and yourself, right? The business owner or the manager. So get to know your staff. You can feature a little 1-minute video taken right on your phone, just making sure people feel, again, that relationship with your staff, with yourself as the manager or the owner. So they get to know the person behind the storefront. Company updates, right? So you can see just in the video category, I could probably come up with 10 different examples of different types of videos that you could create. Same thing. So many different things that you can create within those categories. So take advantage and diversify your content. The other thing is being consistent. This is also something I see a lot of local business owners falling into the trap of. They get really into it the first couple months, and then something else comes up in their business, or they go on vacation, or they get sick, and all of a sudden, all that momentum that they were building up, all of a sudden it starts to go the other way because they go dormant. And then their followers stop engaging with their posts. And once your followers stop engaging with their posts, Facebook's less likely to show your content to them when you do post something in the future. So you need consistent engagement. That's why you might have 1,000 followers on your page, but whenever you post an update, it might only get 100 views, 100 people reached, or maybe even less. And if it's less than that, it usually means that there's a real issue going on where people aren't engaging with your followers, with your content. People aren't engaging with your content. So make sure you're posting engaging content, or you're missing out in the amount of people reached every time you post something is going to keep decreasing. Okay, so that's very important. The other thing is measure your success in multiple ways. Don't just go into it without any goals or any way to measure whether it's working or not. That's another thing that people fall into. Even though you might be getting more and more of your customers coming back frequently, you're not really measuring that. And so then you just decide it's not from social media, or you might not even notice the change necessarily in your business. You might not even notice that 10 to 20% are actually coming in more frequently until it's the end of the year and you all of a sudden take a look at your revenue compared to last year's. So make sure you're measuring your success. Look at your Google Analytics, right? So if you have your Google Analytics installed and you signed up, you can see if people who are going to your website, where they're coming from. You can see that they're coming from Facebook or other social networks. You can see right on your post your customer engagement, your post engagement, your follower growth. There are all different ways to measure how successful you're doing. So make sure you actually are looking at the analytics, looking at the numbers, because people who don't, and they don't really have any goals or any way to measure success, they're the ones who always say, yeah, social media doesn't work for me. Well, yeah, it might actually have worked. It might have been working for you, but you just might not have known it. And I always ask them, well, why do you say that? And they say the same thing. Well, I'm not getting sales from it. Okay, well, how are you tracking when you do get a sale, how are you tracking where they came from? Well, I'm not really. Right? So that's a typical conversation that you might have with some of these local business owners, and no disrespect, but it's just a different medium for them, and they're not used to being able to engage on this level with their customers, so they don't know. And that's where we come into play. We have our whole entire business is built off helping local and small business owners when it comes to their digital marketing and their traditional marketing. So if you are interested in learning more about social media, or you just want to maybe have a conversation, have us take a look at maybe what you're doing and what we could help with, then feel free to reach out. We're on social, through our websites, phone number, email, however you want to contact us. We have so many different ways. So I hope to hear from you, and let us know your thoughts, all right? So we'll see you in another video coming up. See you later.